site-to-site VPN scenario. I'm going to start off at site A. Now what I need to do, which you don't need to do, is create some objects on the firewall to make the config look nice and neat. Again, you don't need to do this. I'm going to create an object for the site A subnet. Our net mask is 24-bit mask. So there's a subnet object for site A, one for site B. Again, you don't need to do any of this. If you don't want to, I just do it to make things look neat. Site B subnet 168.2.0. And if you visit the website, I'll put a graphic on the page with the relevant IP addresses on. Now I'm also going to create a host entity for the firewall on the other end of the tunnel. So change that to host. And the other firewall is 123.123.124. Click OK and apply. I'll preview my commands, yours may not do that. But to actually set the VPN up, go to Wizards, VPN Wizards, Site to Site VPN Wizard. And the wizard will start. In the intro screen, just click Next. And the first thing you'll be asked for is the IP address of the firewall at the other end of the tunnel, which we already know is 123.123.123.124. The VPN will terminate on the outside interface. Select Next. Now I'm going to leave everything turned on, versions 1 and 2. Next. So, a local network, or the network behind this ASA, remember we're at site A, is site A. This is why I create all these neat groups. The remote network is site B. I'm using IPv4. Next. Now, IKE version 1, I'm not using certificates, I'm using pre-shared keys. I'm just going to use 1 to 6. IKE version 2 can have a local and a remote pre-shared key. I'm just going to set them all the same. Next, I'm going to leave it on its default of everything turned on. Next, now I want PFS enabled or perfect forward secrecy, so I'm going to tick the box to turn that on, and I'm going to use Diffie-Hellman group 2, and I also want to exempt all the traffic travelling over the VPN from being natted, so I'm going to tick that box. So next, and there's a brief summary you can read through. I literally have everything turned on. Finish. Again, I'll preview my commands, yours may not do that. Click Send. Now that we've done our configuration, we want to save what we've done, and that's our work completed as site A. Site A is finished with. So let's exit out of there. And hotfoot across to site B. Okay, now we're at site B. Essentially what we're going to configure is the opposite of what we did at site A. So once again, I'm going to create some nice neat network objects. Site A subnet, which you'll remember is 192.168.1.0 with a 24-bit mask, 255.255.255.0. Network object for site B subnet, which is 192. 168.2.0. And at this site I'm going to create a host entity for the firewall at site A. Which is 123.123.123.123. Okay, apply, done. Now to configure this end of the VPN wizards, site to site VPN wizard. Next, remember this is the opposite way around to last time, so here I'm going to, the peer IP address will be the IP address of site A's firewall. Again, I'm leaving everything turned on. The local network at this side will be site B subnet, and the remote network will be site A subnet. Next, enter the same pre-shared keys that we entered on the other side. Again, for IKE version 2 they don't need to match. The opposite ones need to match. Again, I'm leaving everything turned on. Remember, we configured PFS on the other side, so we need to have it turned on this side, and we also want our traffic exempt from being natted. Once again, have a brief look through the summary page. Once you're happy with that, click Finish. And save the running configuration to Flash. Okay, that's the config done. Now to actually test the VPN, we're going to need to fire some traffic across it. So remember, I'm at site B, so if I ping a host at site A, hopefully it should reply. And it does. That's our VPN tunnel up and established, and our site-to-site VPN in place. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to come and visit us at www.petenetlife.com.